All right, welcome back to another blind reveal. Very short reveal, but this is a PSA DNA reveal. Two cards, both Don Mattingly, so these will both be sold. I don't have an interest in Don Mattingly, but I got these on the cheap, extremely cheap. Stick around for the end of the video. I'm going to get into the numbers. I'm just going to do the financial breakdown at the end of this video instead of a whole nother video like I do for others. So have these in order, just open these up. This is going to be the first time looking at them. They are both slabs, so I'm assuming they're both authentic grades or autos. And I did the grade of the card and the auto grade. So both dual graded on this. This is basically what you want to have if you're going to sell this to a collector, because as far as the set registry goes, that's what it goes by. All right, first card, 1988 Topps Don Mattingly. I have this card graded between a 6 and 8 and the auto between a 7 and 9. Pretty wide variance there. So let's see if I can get this all covered. And I bought these, I think literally both these cards autoed for like $5 to $8. Of course, grading fees and shipments type of thing, insurance and all that, there and back was the most costly of these two of I guess all the values. And there's really nothing on the market. We'll get more into that later, but let's find out the grades. So I'm assuming I've never done PSA DNA, so I'm assuming it's been authenticated since it's slabbed. I don't think they would authenticate or slab the card if the auto is not being authenticated. So like I said, card between a 6 and 8, pretty wide margin there, along with the auto 7 to 9. So let's see what we got. Wow. Was not expecting a 9 and 10. I'm shocked this card got a 9 and 10. That just hit a huge bump. So some collector is going to be very interested in this card. That is a huge plus, let alone I think this card most likely I'll be in the profit alone on this one card based on just the price that I bought for the cards and grading fees all alone. This card I think I would expect this card to be around a $200 card. I'm just saying that in my own thought based on reviewing some other listings currently on eBay. Sorry, I can't speak. Never can. 1990 Fleer. Obviously, the Topps would probably be more interested than the Fleer. Maybe someone wants a Fleer. I actually did grade this higher. I gave it a solid 7. I didn't even put a range. And the auto I put higher, 8 to 9. So again, they slabbed it up. Must be certified. I sent these in with no clue, like no COA, certificate of authentication. I had no clue if these autos were even real. It was just, hey, I'm just going to send them in and see if I can make some money here. So it's turning out already to be pretty good. So let's see what we got on this bad boy. An 8 to 9. Very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Obviously, I don't know the grading of autos very well. This one's really short. You can see how they're both actually different. His first name is stacked on top of his last name there on the one on the left, and then he just wrote it all on the same line with the card on the right. And I knew basically how there's basically no connection right there on the Y, or whatever you want to call that little swirl. So I saw, and it's just like very thin. It's not like a Sharpie permanent marker on these autos. But hey, he touched the card. He signed these cards. These have been authenticated by PSA. I'm sure there's been plenty of Don Mattingly autographs come through PSA to be authenticated. So very happy on those two cards. Definitely was not expecting those grades. I must have been pretty harsh on myself when I graded those. So pleased to have that outcome. Let's jump over to the computer if you want to stick around. I'll get into some numbers on what I paid for these cards, grading fees and all that, and what I expect to get out of them. Thank you for watching. If you're heading out, and stick around in a few seconds, and I'll catch you at the computer screen. All right, welcome back. We're going to get into the breakdown of all the financial numbers for those two cards. I was a little bit off just based on some preliminary research I did before the blind reveal, but we'll get into the good old details. So if you're around on the channel for a while and you've been seeing these types of videos, this might be familiar to you. If you haven't, this is brand new. Just give you a little bit of rundown. Purchase date, purchased both of these cards almost a year ago, July of last year. Had the pre-grades. I didn't put the autos on here. Grading cost was $43 for each card. All-in grading for $86. And that's shipped there and back. Raw purchase price was $650 for both of these cards. So we're going to get into how much money or profit should we expect on these two cards. And it's pretty hefty. If I get it, they're junk wax cards, but their autos have now been authenticated. So I think that jumps the price tremendously compared to that. Actually, not bad of a deal. It was a risk, and that's why I took it. It was such a low risk for $6.50. Yes, grading fees are a little pricey, but sometimes you have to roll the dice, right? A little bit. So let's get into it. Let's try to find out what the value is and do a little bit more research live here on video. So I have a search here, 1988 Topps Don Mattingly Auto. These are just current values that are not sold. I know you do not want to look necessarily on listings because anyone can obviously, as we know, price something astronomically as much as they want, but it's a baseline for something because you're not going to get a lot of traction with these types of cards, especially when you're getting a dual graded grade of the card and auto grade along with authenticated. Mainly everyone just gets authenticated. Like for instance this one. We have this one, which is a 1988 Topps, rough condition. I mean, rough condition. Yeah, this thing would probably get a 4 or a 3, I would say. Just base, maybe even worse, maybe a 2 and some half points or something right there. But they did authenticate the auto. They didn't grade it. They just authenticated, hey, I want this auto authenticated, and PSA did it. Someone's watching this. But it's a good baseline, 121 for that type of card. Here's another one. Again, just auto getting authenticated for $87. You can see another one, or is that the same one, 121? Yeah, that's the same one. So there's really only two that I'm seeing. Here's one. Yeah, it's like a placard. So let's go over to sold, see what we can find. So we got like around $100 for just authenticating the auto on this card on some maybe crap cards. So we're getting into some sold. Here's obviously a current one, 2023 raw. It's authenticated because ideally because it's from Topps past the years when there was no authenticated autos on cards. So one went for 86 again. These are newer pricing, but it's also again a baseline. So his autos seem to be going for around that $100 range, just straight raw auto authenticated in that range. Here's some lower numbers, but it's again, I'll use the word again, baseline around $100. So there's a 10 that went for 116 on bids. So it gives me a pretty good idea that my card's more valuable than that because I get it, it's a junk wax card, but I'm getting a junk wax card for a collector that wants both the card graded and the auto graded, not just necessarily authenticated. You're also getting that on top. So it's two more factors that we haven't necessarily seen on the screen here. So tell me if I'm wrong. I would feel comfortable, and I don't know whether to put this just card on bids or just put like a high best offer. And then I'm like, okay, well, what does his rookie card autos sell for? So I need to get a better idea of what his rookie cards auto, because there's going to be a lot of those, right? But someone may want all of his playing years, for instance, card graded and auto graded. That's a very high possibility for some collector. which I'm gravitating and kind of crossing my fingers for. I thought these would be a little bit higher, but this is exactly what I have, for instance. 9, 10 on the 88. So again, here's just the grade, or the auto was graded for 250. Again, auto was graded for 125. That's kind of a weight killer deal compared to those, and those were only a day apart. How did that happen? 279 again. Looks like a 910. So similar to what I have, 242. So when I said I think this was a $200 card, I was a little high. I don't think it's that high of a $200 card. Here's an 8 that went for 230. Thing is, what I have going for me is there's not going to be any of these on eBay. So I'm tempted to put it on bids to create a bidding war. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do with these cards. Because right now, as filming this video, I don't know which way to run. To put a high best offer, for instance, of like 150, 175 and put best offer on it, or just start at 99-cent bids and hopefully there's a lot of interest and it gains traction into the realm of maybe what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try to figure out which way. Let's jump over to the 90 Fleer. Cannot find a lot on this card. There's this 90 Fleer with Mark McGuire on here. So that's an auto. That's both of them. Dual auto. So that's pretty sweet, actually. That card, having them both auto. I'm not big into authentic or autos on raw cards, in a sense, that weren't necessarily autoed from the factory or from your manufacturer, I should more say, in a sense. So there's not a lot of traction on this 90 Fleer. Yes, it's not a flagship Topps brand. It's going to be a little bit lesser value. And I think what I have it sitting next to me, yeah, it was an 8-9. So we're not looking at a 9-10 either. So here's kind of one that's a little bit interesting to watch. Basically, the auto is being graded. It is an older, it's second year Fleer. But this is kind of how you can kind of get some baselines. There's an 84's rookie card Fleer for 160. Again, they're just authenticating the auto and grading the auto. So I'm looking to be in that 150-ish range for, I think, the 88 Topps, and then I'll probably lessen this Fleer down to, we'll say 150 and then 100, I think. And then this was also key. I was looking at some of these, just the auto being graded on, for instance, a 91 Fleer. So, and then this is not quite remember what they call these, picturesque, but it's not the actual base card of his. So again, another one around $100. So let's get over back to the spreadsheet now that we kind of just reviewed and got a little bit of a research R&D completed. So we're saying that first one was going to be around 150. So that already puts us in the pocket total of $50 after eBay fees. And we were saying this one's around $100. So ideally, let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong on these values too. I do want to know. I'm just trying to show and prove how I'm approaching this and how I normally approach things, if this helps. And let me know if you want to see some more type of this. So ideally, after all said and done, I possibly net to gain $137.03 just on those generic values. Again, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to list these. How would you list these? Would you put them on auction? Would you just do buy it now with best offers, or just straight buy it nows? Who knows what someone's willing to pay for these cards, right? They're a little bit rare, but they have a very hard collector's value to them, especially Donnie Baseball. There's plenty of market for him. So that's all I have. Pretty good return on investment if you care for that for both of these. 170 is through the roof. Anything like in a 30% range is good. So definitely killed it on this no matter what. Definitely going to be in the positive let alone kind of more so than I expected. Definitely was happy to get these back, and it took 6 months to get, actually 5 months. I sent these out in middle of January, and yeah, they just hit in June. So about a 5-month processing time on that, and I do not remember what PSA's time was back then. It's hard to see specials. I think it was a special. I can't remember if it was a special or not, but that's all I have for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know on all those questions in the comments below if you care to indulge and conversate about all this. Really quick video. Well, not at this point, but thanks for watching again. I'll get you all out of here. Take care. Have a good one.